transition. And the word transition itself is a very interesting term, insofar as in our lives we are always in a process of transition. From the mother's womb into this earth, we transition from that embryo into that birthing process, transitioning into our new environment. And then as we grow older, from being a child into our teenage years, and then into adolescence, and then into adulthood. And once we reach the stage of adulthood, all the different various steps within that process of then coming and repeating the different cycles that we experienced in our childhood, adolescence, teenage years, revisiting the same exact themes and transitioning into new ways of becoming ourselves and fulfilling our soul's purpose. So this is really the existence of our spiritual transition. And we're being asked to fulfill our purpose, right? We're changing, and we're not always aware of it on a daily basis because we live with ourselves. But sometimes when you come into the company of other people who haven't seen you in a while, they'll say, you look different. Something has changed. And many times we don't notice that specific change, but other people do. And when we're in the process of change, we're in an in-between state of an internal awakening and a external manifestation. And the process itself is going into the fire, going into the parts of ourselves that can become a little bit difficult. The period of where it becomes easy, and then we're pushed into a state of disarray. That state of disarray is actually the beginning, the opening towards a new beginning, a new chapter. So in essence, you've been anointed, but you have not been appointed. And when we go through a process, we eventually overcome these different anointments that we go through in order for us to then become appointed to that feeling, whether it be a job, whether we grow into the role of a parent, the role of a person who assists other people, a mentor, a teacher, a leader. So we're all in the process of transition, and that spiritual transition can be painful, but it's an integral part of our lives. And sometimes we're pushed beyond the point of comfort, and we go through again that dark night of the soul, right? It involves letting go of cherished beliefs or ideas of our history, of the story that's been told to us, in order for us to find our true essence, our true selves. So that time in between is scary, and that's a transition period. And we're going through uncharted waters that we've never been through. So how could we expect to be comfortable with that? But each journey that we take when we venture off into uncharted waters gives us the opportunity to build the confidence and self-esteem for us to then take on new challenges in our lives using that same integrity and same passion, knowing that the steps aren't really different. It's just a matter of being present and allowing yourselves to always also put your state in a sense of pause so that you can reflect. So that opening is sometimes difficult, but it's creating a new you. And that new you is a new version of yourself. And how could we understand what our new version looks like? Sometimes we just have to allow, and by allowing, we allow the transition to take place, right? We go through something, and then we come out the other side and we look back, and then we see the transition of ourselves. But it's important for us to have that integrity again, that self-esteem, that extra oomph of energy to push us through, to know that we're being guided and that we have the opportunity to transition. And then as we know in our lives, the transitionary phase is us leaving. And that's something that we could talk about at another time. But it is another transitory aspect of what our soul experiences. So while we're here, it's important for us to take on the different challenges that we face. It's important for us to be able to transition into new roles by taking on new opportunities. And so hopefully you can, when we journey today, you can look at aspects of yourself that are in a transitory state, because we're always in a flux. We sometimes try to stay attached to the ego, which keeps us in that comfort zone. But in essence, our soul is urging us to move forward, inching us closer to our true essence. And if we take the feather rather than the brick, we absolutely move in a direction with ease. Okay, so let's go on our journey today and see what transition you're going through, where it represents, whether in a relationship, whether it represents something in your work, in terms of your spiritual process of manifestation, of growing, or wherever it leads to. So if you haven't done this before, please get into a place where you can get comfortable, where you're either sitting or lying down with your eyes closed. If you can cover your eyes, even better. We'll go on a journey itself. We'll try to find our spirit animal and then return with the information, new insight. Okay, so get comfortable. Take a deep breath in. If you can cover your eyes again, try to do that. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. Let's go on our journey, relaxing, releasing, and allowing any information to come in. We make our way into the forest. The tall trees left and right. Various flowers growing left and right up the path. As we look down, and as we continue on the path, we feel the warmth of the sun as it shines upon our face through the tree branches. We listen for the sounds. We hear our feet crunching on the ground beneath us, and the various whistles from the birds above. We take a deep breath in as we follow the terrain of the path we walk upon. Up ahead are boulders that lead to the opening at the base of a mountain. And we work our way up, holding on, and making our way up. Find ourselves at the entrance of the cave. And we walk into the darkness using our hands to navigate. Up ahead, we see the light shining on the floor. Other side. We look to the right, and as we do, behind us we hear a noise. We turn around and see a spirit animal. What animal do you see? Transition. About the transition of your relationship, your work, your health, awareness. And you listen for the answers. And what comes through most profoundly. find your way. You think your spirit animal, and you turn for the opening in the cave. You find yourself in darkness, using your hands to navigate. Looking for the light that shines on the ground, the opening that leads you back on the path. And you make your way down the boulders, holding on and balancing yourself as you make it to the dirt path. The sun shines in the back as you continue. To the left is a large oak tree. You stop in front of it and you put your arms around it. You exchange energy as the tree absorbs your positive ions. You look up to the tree and thank it. As you release your hands, you find yourself walking out of the forest. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. Move your fingers, move your toes, shrug your shoulders, and release. Okay, so that was Shamanic Journey number 77, to transition. And we all face different transitions in our life. In terms of a spiritual transition, it can be painful, right? But it becomes always an internal awakening and an external manifestation. And the period in between the waiting and the process of us shifting and changing is a process where patience, pausing, and allowing needs to take place. In that process, we are in a flux of change, and our soul is moving in a direction which best suits our evolution. So keep in mind that change is always scary and transitions are always frightening. But the process of knowing that you're in that phase, in that zone of changing, is knowing that you're on the right path. When you feel that shift, that fear that comes in, just sitting with it and allowing for it to take place, to go with it, and creating a new version is always a positive thing. It's always the potential for creation, and who knows what you'll become. But it takes us going into that phase and into the unknown. All right, I want to thank you for joining me today. That was Shamanic again, Shamanic Journey number 77. Hopefully you'll be able to catch some of the interviews I have coming up this week and next week on my YouTube channel, Adam Gellin Inspiring Minds. And I hope you have a great evening. And remember, we're all in a transitory state. We're all growing and shifting. All right, have a great evening. Thank you.